Winners don't use drugs.
What's good? It's Wednesday night.
Hey.
Honeyest Beachhausen and Scree.
No,
Joining
not the bees!
joining me for watching the Wicker Man. Hell fucking yeah, Nicolas Cage.
Hell yeah.
Oh
By the
yeah.
way, I have the Iron Maiden song in my head every time you say it.
Yeah. Your time
I
will
will
come.
come.
Yeah, thanks guys. I'm glad that you two joined me for these and don't think I'm torturing you, that you guys actually get a kick out of this.
Hey, I'm glad that we're still doing it.
But yeah, thanks for coming through.
Of course.
So
This is a movie I had heard about many times but never seen.
oh yeah, Nicolas motherfucking Cage in the house again.
Yeah, and even though it's a remake, the role seems made for him.
The original, I believe, was a British movie.
Oh, okay. Probably based on a book then.
I've never seen the entire thing of the first one, the original, but I have seen some of it. I believe I might have got stoned and fell asleep while I was watching it on the couch somewhere. But I think I'm pretty sure it was a British movie.
If it's a British movie, I just get the feeling that it was based on a novel, and Iron Maiden makes songs about novels too. So,
and I'm not exactly sure if the first one followed this one. I have a feeling it didn't. Do you, I don't know. Do you think that the first one was this whole thing? Okay. Weird fucking island. Jesus Christ. I'm already getting ahead of myself thinking about the weird fucking islands.
Yeah, so already this movie kind of follows the prototype of, like, you know, the isolated community where the people there are very traditional, right? They live in an old-timey way. Their faith seems a little mysterious.
They're a bit
strange.
medieval in their ways.
Yeah, you know, the fear of the other, in a sense, as that's probably what they'd call it now, right? But yeah, like, the people are just a little weird. There's something about them that's a little off.
But we're not on the island yet. We're not on the island yet. So we get our introduction to Ridiculous Cage. I mean Nicolas Cage.
Ridiculous Cage.
And he's being weird reading books at a truck stop.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
well,
he was already being weird.
State patrol. Yeah, the waitress is asking the cop, he's like, "Where's your partner?" He's over there. Nicolas Cage is just standing there looking at books on the book rack.
With his aviators on.
Yeah. So, okay. Highway patrol? What? He's highway patrol, right?
Yeah.
And little girl throws a fucking doll out of the car. He scoops it up immediately. And follows the car and pulls them over, and you know, the mom is like, "My daughter's been acting up all day. Sorry."
Little blonde girl with a braid.
Yeah, and the mom looks the same. The mom, that's also a recurring theme too, is the Aryan race looking women in this movie.
With braids.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, even the sweaters have cable knit, so they look like braids. It looks like rope, you know, like golden rope.
A lot of their clothes look like it was made out of rope.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Sherry. Hello.
Hey, Sherry. Oh, see? She's got, like, the dance around the maypole flower wreath.
Oh, yeah, that would be perfect for the harvest.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't get into the harvest yet.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
So he's talking to the mom, and she's like, "Oh, sorry about that," and he hands the doll back,
To the little girl.
and she just throws the doll back out again
All right,
Bitch.
onto the street.
first off, the little girl was being a RoboCop 2 style kid, being a little shit.
Yeah,
Because she was like, "Did you get my doll?"
yeah,
Like she was expecting him to get the doll.
yeah. Like it's his
And
job
she's
to
like,
pick up
"Go
her
fetch."
doll.
Yeah, yep. And then like fucking 2 sentences later from the mother, "Go fetch." She fucking throws that shit again.
Woo!
I'm gonna shatter right in the face.
See, this is what happens when you stop disciplining your child.
Is this what happens when you come from a fatherless household too?
Ha! Only if you're a boy.
I don't know about that. You know, I've heard of some instances where the girl comes from a fatherless household and runs rampant.
I guess I'm in trouble.
Oh, sorry, Carol. My bad.
It's okay.
Shari went to the movies to see this. You did?
Wow. Hey, you know, it wasn't that long ago. It was 2006.
What's up, Manticore? How you doing?
Manticore.
What's up, Manticore? Manticore.
How you
And
doing, man?
I noticed that from the color grading, it looked like it was the precursor to the whole turquoise and orange theme in Hollywood for several years. You all know
But
what I'm talking
no
about.
shaky cam though. There was no
Yeah,
shaky.
right, no shaky cam. Shaky cam is more like desaturated movies, you know, with the disorienting fight
I gotta
scenes.
say, this movie looked great. It did.
It did. Yeah.
I thought it did. There were
Mhm.
other issues with the movie.
No, but it looked great. Everything looked great. You know, the colors that they use for like the characters, the clothing, and the environments, the color grading, the lighting, it all looked great. Even like the shots of nature outside, the way they set it up, it was great stuff.
His recurring dreams over and over again, where that girl gets run over by the truck on the boat. For some reason, there's a truck on a boat in his dream.
Well, we didn't explain why
Yeah, we
he has
didn't get
that
into
dream.
that yet. Yeah, we didn't get into that yet. So he goes and plays fetch, chasing the little girl's doll again after he pulled him over, and then Badoom.
Yep. As soon as he picks up the doll, a big Mack truck slams into the back of the car with the woman and the girl in it.
And
Just totally, yeah, it just wrecks it, and then it's on
truck
fire.
on fire, car on fire. Truck goes down the hill though, but car on fire is like hanging off the hill.
Yeah, and he looks in for the mom, but she looks like a goner. But he sees the girl's still alive, so he's like, "Hold on, I'll get you out." And he starts banging on the rear window. He even takes his helmet off and just pounding on the window to smash a hole in it. And once he's got the window open,
My hand,
yeah, take my hand. He reaches into her, and then
kablooey.
explosion, and he's out.
And then what is it like? We see him chilling at his house. Next scene,
Yeah, I think he wakes up in bed.
chilling at his house. The next scene, and woman cop comes by.
Woman cop.
Woman
Is that
cop.
her name in the credits?
Cop it.
In the credits that I wrote for this movie, yes, her name is Woman Cop.
Okay. Just checking.
And Woman Cop gives him a letter, a very beautifully written letter.
Oh yeah, beautiful handwriting.
Telling him
Almost
about his,
too beautiful.
telling him about his long lost daughter from his ex fiance. What the hell was she? She is wife or
I
ex
wasn't-
fiance. I gotta look this
Yeah,
up.
I never actually heard the definition of the relationship, but I got the sense that, you know, she was the mother of his child. She was
It was in the beautifully written letter.
Yeah, yeah, with the puffy DSL.
And the bee stamps. The bees. This is the first call we get to the bees because we see they have this fancy bee logo for their little island.
Oh yeah, yeah, like a rubber stamp imprint of the bee on the letter.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
because she
they're all-
wrote him the letter from
they're on
this place.
this little island off the coast of Washington. Is that what they were saying?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, off the west coast, and
Okay. Policeman Edward Malis gets news from his ex-fiance that her daughter is missing. Okay, so it is his ex-fiance.
that her daughter is missing. Yeah, but we already know that it's his daughter too.
Spoiler.
That's not a spoiler.
I know, I'm kidding.
Everything's
No,
a
we know that.
spoiler.
This movie
Right.
came out in 2006, so
Right. So she writes him a letter from
We
Summers
pretty much
Isle.
spoil every movie we do anyway because we just say it scene by scene and then give our thoughts. We basically mention every scene of every movie we do.
Yeah. Also,
We
this
can
movie
get
is what
the
happens
payback
when you
later.
give mothers full custody every time.
What?
Yeah, but did he even know he had this kid? I don't think he knew he had this kid.
No, he didn't?
I don't think he knew that this. I don't think so.
Okay. I didn't even realize that.
When you're
Okay.
talking about when he first got the letter, yeah, I don't think that he knew he had this kid.
Okay.
We see there's some devious people about on this island, so
Right. Okay. So his ex-fiance writes him a letter from the island saying that that her daughter has disappeared.
gone missing. I
Gone
guess,
missing,
whatever you want to say, whatever term they use. But he gets drawn in. Fucking goes to the island on his own.
Yeah, he like immediately gets on a boat.
He also goes to this island really thinking too much about his police authority.
Yeah.
He thinks his police authority from the second he sets foot on that island, he thinks that's going to amount to shit.
Well, before he gets there, he's on the boat and he's just kind of staring out at sea in that Nicolas Cage way, where he's just
Oh, yeah,
deep
we
in
forgot
thought.
about that. Yeah.
And he looks out on the bow of the ship and he sees the back of this little blonde girl's head with pigtails, you know, like braids, just like the girl in the car. And he looks for a second and then
And
bam, a big Mack truck runs her over.
it's like, who the fuck let this Mack truck on this boat?
Yep. But it's all in his head. He just keeps seeing it over and over, haunting him. And then when he
And
gets as
that's not
close
the
as he
only
can,
time. That's not the only time we
No.
see it.
when he gets as close as he can by boat, he walks down the plank, the dock, to this old man in a flannel shirt who's like gassing up his pontoon plane. And he said, and he's still, Nick Cage is still in a full like suit and tie. And he asked him to take him to the island. The old man says, "No, absolutely not. They're very private." And he's like, "Well, why don't you take all three of us?" "All three? Me, my friend Mr. Grant, and his twin brother Ulysses."
Wow, clever.
Yeah, two
Oh, you're
50s.
clever, bro.
And then the next thing you see, the plane is in the air. I guess $100 was enough for the old man. And
So he's on the island, and he gets immediately greeted by three old smug-faced bitches. Smug face, like Hillary Clinton smug face. They had, oh my god.
They barely even really pay attention to him. I mean, it's not a warm greeting. And yeah, they're all wearing like earth tone colors.
Yeah.
Simple clothing. One might even say Amish clothing. Not all the way Amish, but
Not
basic
full
stuff.
Amish. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not committed to the Amish. They're just dabbling in it.
And he immediately as they kind of are blowing him off, he immediately tells them, "I'm a cop." And one of
And
them,
they're not impressed.
they're not impressed, and one of them just gives them a look when he says this.
They are not impressed. They are not intimidated.
And he's still in his suit and tie.
And we see the two guys in the background with a bag,
just carrying a bag
with something wiggling around in it.
He's like, "Your bag's dripping."
Drippy.
Is that a shark? Yes. I was like, is that a shark?
Yeah, is there a shark? And they just laugh. And then the bag moves again. And we never really do find out what's in the bag.
No, we didn't. We get a scare. He gets to look in the bag because one of the old bitches opens the bag. She's like, "Go ahead, take a look inside," and they're all snickering.
Devious people.
It's not a human body. He freaks out, but he doesn't try to arrest them.
And you still don't know. I would love to know what it's like. All right, you know how like the Pulp Fiction thing is. Okay, it was Marcellus Wallace's soul in the suitcase the whole time. I want to know what was in that fucking bag. What was in that bag?
Yeah, like there's some questions in movies that should never be answered, but
Was it actually a shark though?
I don't think knowing what was in that bag would ruin this movie. I think it's okay that we know.
No, it's just that I want to know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. Oh, there is no ruining this movie for me. This is solid shit gold.
Yep. And so none of the ladies have ever seen this little girl.
Never go full Amish. That's why there's one Springer.
Oh yeah. And so none of them have ever seen this girl or heard this name. They're like they're all shrugs.
Yeah, they're not even giving him. They're like looking away. First of all, he pulls out the picture, and these three old nasty bitches in the beginning, they all are looking away when he's showing the picture to them.
Yeah, they're like,
And
no,
they're
we've
like,
never
"I've
seen
never
her.
seen her." And he's like, "It helps when you look at the picture."
Yeah. So they're really not being very cooperative. And he decides he's going to stay here as long as he has to until he can, find an answer. So he goes to the tavern and he sees this older woman at the bar who kind of looks like Kathy Bates, but
Yes,
with
fake
like
Kathy Bates, yes.
gray hair and a braid.
What was her name again? Oh, was she Sister Rose? No, Sister Rose was the teacher, I think. Yeah,
Sister Beach.
Sister Beach. Yeah, that's it.
Yep, and she also has blue eyes. There's a lot of blue eyes and a lot of blonde hair on the island.
And Sister Beach also has a fucking Fred Flintstone shaped head too.
Yeah, and she is kind of a beach to him. And
oh yeah, she's a mega beach.
He's asking her questions, and she's kind of she has a deep voice too, deeper than Kathleen Turner.
And she's out smugging all the fucking women that he first met. She's like,
yeah. He's like, "I'm a cop. I'm investigating a missing person."
And he's banging on the bar. Remember, he starts banging on the bar and starts like,
oh yeah, getting everyone's attention. He's like tapping his badge.
Wait. Also, wait. Where is it? He asked if he can stay here. He's like, "Can you swing it?" What is that? Big city talk.
Yeah. He's swinging his big city dick around.
Swinging his big city detective dick around. But he's not even a detective. He's a fucking highway patrolman. What the fuck?
Yeah, and you notice in the
He's
bar,
acting like he's FBI in this. Like, dude.
There's a lot more. There appear to be a lot more women on this island than men, and a lot of the people are kind of older. But on the beach and in the tavern, they're just yeah, it just feels like there's like at least like 2/3 women. And
Oh yeah, it's ladies' night every night on this island. The ratio is like fucking 8-2.
and so he looks over at the doorway, and there's a woman standing there holding, I don't know, she's holding something, and she's got like curly brown hair and blue eyes and these big, puffy, silicone-looking lips. Although I checked up on her, and as I thought for sure this actress had plastic surgery, and I can't find any evidence that she did. I think she really just looks like that.
I forgot to look up her name.
It was Kate.
Behan? Kate
Yeah,
Behan
Beahan. Kate Beahan.
plays Sister Willow Woodward, Edward's ex-fiance.
Yeah, Sister Willow. Yeah, I mean, this is her biggest role, so it's actually hard to find other pictures of her. I wanted to look at it like a before and after, but no, I think she just looks like that.
Oh, compared to a lot of the other women on the island, she's a.
She looked like a blow-up doll brought to life. Am I wrong?
I wouldn't say she looked like a blow-up doll.
All rubbery.
Yeah.
I mean, like, blow-up dolls have very stupid-looking faces.
Yeah. Okay. Well, her face looked like an Instagram model,
She had
right?
a good
You know,
face.
big old poofy lips and.
Wait, are you talking about those new Japanese sex robots? Is that the type?
Yeah, yeah, kind of like that.
Oh, sex bots.
Even
Sex bot.
but some of those ones look creepy. Like some of those ones, like ew. I don't want.
Well, she definitely looked a lot better than Madonna's new face.
That's true.
Up here with a bunch of digiverse.
You know, I think I remember her when she was the singer in Dead or Alive.
Hi, Moira.
Oh,
Hey,
Moira. Yeah,
Hey.
Moira. Right. So, yeah. I don't think Moira would have gotten along with the people on this island either. And,
With the bitchy women on this.
well, Nick Cage is clearly not making friends, but he recognizes Sister Willow as his ex-fiance. Which
The
makes
one
sense because she's
that-
the
the one
hottest
that-
woman so far.
Yeah, the one who sent him that quill pen written letter.
Yep. At first, I thought it was just, you know, that moment in the movie, there's the girl that I like, that he was gonna like, you know, be trying to romance her. But we quickly learned that is his ex. That's
Well, he goes and meets her outside, like,
Yeah.
so he can have a private conversation. I don't know where Raquel is. She didn't ask me if she wanted to watch the movie.
It wasn't my turn to watch her.
We have another missing person to the island. Not the bees.
No. That's later on.
Oh,
That's
okay.
later on.
Okay.
We can't spoil the
bees really quick.
we can't spoil the bees yet. Well, first off, he kills a bee,
Oh yeah, on the bar.
and that's what sets off Sister Beach.
Yeah. So he sees he's still in the suit and tie, you know, black suit, you know, like white shirt, you know, I think it was a green and brown striped tie, like a rep tie. And I describe it because the wardrobe actually says a lot in this movie. And he's got like the black like an overcoat.
He's just kind of like what they would expect a young Republican from the 80s to dress like.
Yeah, like Nick Cage in the 80s. So he sees this bee buzzing around on the bar, and he takes this, you know, this classic, you know, metal mug.
Oh,
You
Sister
know the ones.
gives him mead. She gives him a mug full of
Right. Because mead is made from honey. And he takes the mead mug, he smashes the bee, and she gives him this incredulous look. Why'd you do that? Or why'd you go and do a thing like that?
and
he
she
says,
has a horrified look on her face.
Yeah. He says, I'm allergic.
No, she didn't hit me up. I told her the other day, I was like, you want to come to the movie on Wednesday? She didn't. What up, Vigilante?
Yeah. What's up, Vig?
How you doing, man?
He knows.
We can't talk about the bees yet. That's a spoiler.
He killed one, and Sister Peach was not happy about it. And Sister Willow takes him up to show him his room. And at which point I had not yet realized that was his ex. So I thought it was just some island girl like thotting it up for him, giving him his only warm welcome. But
Lily Sobieski, yeah. When she walks in.
yeah. Yep. And looking way more Slavic than everyone else. You know, he's got very straight hair, and
then he meets her outside chopping wood, and then she's doing the whole weird act that all the other women on the island have been doing towards him since he's been there. She wasn't that weird at first, but then when she's chopping wood outside. She's like,
what was her name? Sister.
We'll see. It was another flower name, wasn't it?
Honey. Sister Honey.
Okay, Sister Honey.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you said he met the ex outside, out in the woods, away from everyone else. Yeah, he talked to her, and he's like, she basically filled him in on like.
But she's giving him a runaround too.
Yeah, that she's like, why she came here.
She's gone. They say that she's dead, but she's missing. Blah blah blah. Like she's giving him the runaround.
Yeah, it's really weird. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Her own daughter. She's, they said she's dead, but I haven't seen her. Like, why would people think that she's dead? Why is there no body? It's pretty weird, and Nick Cage thinks it's pretty weird.
Well, we also have files and pictures. Yeah, there are files.
Yeah, well, there's all those black and white photos on the wall of the annual festival they do, and you see like a little girl standing in circles in each one. It made me so funny.
The meme is fucking funny as hell.
Oh, what a gentleman.
What up, Papa Cotton? How you doing, bro?
Gentleman Vig. What's up, Papa? Yeah, so it's all these black and white photos on the wall going back years and years. And when Sister Honey is like chopping the wood.
It's all of little girls standing. You're talking about the pictures towards a little bit towards the middle, right? The wall of pictures.
Yeah. And he thinks it's weird. He's like, he's like, is there a picture of
Rowan? His daughter's name is Rowan. Yeah, because he says
Rowan.
He says the name 9 million times.
Yep. And nobody knows anyone named Rowan, and he does not believe anyone. And okay, so why did Lily Sobieski ask him to take her with him?
Yeah, she's just like out of nowhere. Well, first of all, she's avoiding his questions.
Yeah.
Instead of answering yes or no, she's just laughing in his face and looking at the ground. And
then she rests the axe on her shoulder while smiling, which seemed a little odd.
Giving him like no answers to anything.
Yep. And then she leans in and says something. Will you take me with you?
Yeah, when you leave, will you take me with you? And he just like pulls away from her slowly.
Yeah. Doesn't say a word, just walks off.
He's like still looking at her while he's walking away. Like, what the fuck did he just ask me?
Yeah.
I mean, and you know what? Everyone wants to go on about the bees in this movie. Nah, for me, it's the bear costume. I came for the bees, but I stayed for the bear costume.
Yeah. Okay. So he goes to the schoolhouse where the old school marm is teaching the children, which are all girls, most of them blonde, all of them with their hair in braids. And,
more Aryan children, yes.
Yeah, and there's twins. There's multiple sets of twins.
Easily Cage's best performance.
And well, he's pretty restrained, especially in the beginning.
Hello, Tommy. How you doing? How you doing, bro?
And what's up, Tommy? And the school marm is not happy to see him.
You're scaring my students.
Yeah. Well, he pops in the open doorway, and none of the children are scared. And the school marm says, like, you have no right to come in here and scare my students, right? No, nobody is scared.
And
They're
then
all
there he
calm
comes
and
swinging,
silent.
and he's swinging his big city fucking dick around, saying, "I'm a police officer."
Right. She has no regard for this, and he holds up the photo. He's like, "Any of you seen this girl?" And nobody answers. He's like, "What about Rowan? Did you know a girl named Rowan?" And nobody answers. But he sees one empty desk in the back of the room, and he walks up to it and he hears something inside, and he pops it open. And what is it, Carol?
I don't remember.
There's a raven. Raven flies out. The sign of Odin. That's a different movie. And so, yeah, the raven flies out and perches on the chalkboard, and he kind of flips out a little bit, and he kind of snaps on the teacher a little bit, and he's like, he
They're all
erases.
laughing at him too.
Yeah, they're laughing at him. He erases a big spot on the chalkboard, which pisses off the teacher, and he writes the girl's name, and he's like, this is her name, and she's like, dude, what does he say to her? He has a great line that he mushroom stamps her with.
Well, he also, he asked what her name is. He's like, "I'm Sister Rose." Rose, another plant.
Yeah. Oh, great, another plant.
I know. First of all, he erases the lesson that the teacher put on the blackboard, and then he writes the girl's name, Rowan, whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking. He ends up getting horrified by the crow, or what was it, a crow or a raven?
Giant, one of the two.
Giant blackbird flies out.
Yeah.
And why would you do that? It's like we wanted to see how long it would stay in there. And it's like, why would you teach these kids to do such a sick thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they wanted to see how long it could endure being in the desk.
Yeah.
Right.
So every step on this island he's taken has been fucking.
What it was weird because I was trying to figure out like what their belief system is, because they did not like it when he killed a bee. So I thought, okay, well maybe they're vegans, maybe they respect animals, all life, maybe. But the raven is what clued me into that's not the case, because they were making it suffer, right? And so
you see, they're kind of sadistic weirdos.
Right. So if all life was sacred to them, like a bunch of vegans, they
put a crow
they would not
desk and lock it in there.
Right, exactly. So all we know now is that they just really like bees, and the teacher says, "I will talk to you outside." Oh yeah, she was in 6 Feet Under also.
Oh,
that's
that girl too? Okay.
Yeah, the dark hair teacher. She's got like a bow on, not a bow tie, but almost like a bow.
Oh, wasn't she also two people? Was she two people?
I'm not sure. I think that was like just somebody. I think the actress who played another character that looked almost exactly like her. Okay. Different color hair. That's
true, because a lot of the women did look pretty similar in this fucking movie.
Yep. So yeah, basically, we said there's a lot of blonde hair and blue eyes on the island. They all mostly have it in braids, but yeah, a lot of recessive traits, a lot of twins, and so you get the sense that there's a shallow gene pool on this island.
Yeah, the bee pouring.
Yeah,
you could pour bees. Also, I gotta say, we the three of us watched the theatrical cut, and I was highly disappointed that they did not have the ending there. So we went back and we watched the great ending.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
The
phenomenal ending of this movie. But sorry.
Yeah. That that ending really takes it to the next level. They never should have taken that out. Sherry, I'm sorry you had to see it in the theater without that extra
You're
scene.
breaking my legs.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Breaking my legs.
Ouch, this hurts. Stop killing me. Like, that's basically what that was.
It was more dramatic than that.
All right,
So
I
the
can't.
teacher,
If I
well, the
start
teacher,
screaming right now, people are gonna call the cops on me if I start screaming at Nicolas Cage levels. So,
well, the teacher was getting sassy with him. I don't remember what she said to him. But
everyone was getting sassy with him though.
yeah, well, he's like, he wanted to make sure that she's not, that the girl is not dead. And the teacher's like, we don't use that word here.
Yeah.
What, dead?
Yeah, they don't like
yes.
the word.
We don't believe in death here. Nobody dies. They simply become one with nature, with the ground and the trees and the air. I'm like, yeah, lady, that's called being dead. Right? And so he's like, well, yeah, he had grabbed a book, like an attendance book, and snatched it away from her. And he opened up and he flipped through it.
Tried to throw her perky teacher titties in his way to he was like, nope.
Nope, not gonna fall for it. And he looks through, he sees all these names, and all the way at the bottom, he sees the name he's looking for, Rowan. Crossed out. Yeah. He's like, she was here. I knew it. That was her desk, wasn't it? And so
it's kind of like by this point where you feel bad for him.
Yeah, because nobody's even talking to him.
Like, dude, like, you should just go. You should just leave.
Yeah, but he can't leave without finding this little girl dead or alive.
It's because he's a sworn fucking highway patrol officer in California.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
And so he tells the teacher, like, I know she was here. Her name was in the book. Why is it crossed out? And
that's when he wants to have the conference outside.
Yeah. And so she's like, oh, yeah, no, we don't believe in death. We don't use that word. And then he's like, well, what happened to the little girl? And then, like, immediately the teacher says, she burned to death.
No, first she says, she'll burn to death.
She'll burn to death.
She'll burn, yeah. Like, she'll burn to death.
And what did you just say?
What did you say? And she's like, she burned to death. The second thing she says is totally different from the first thing she says.
Yeah. And he's like, he's got that Nick Cage face on, It's like,
well, come on, the whole movie, it's Nick Cage.
At his finest. And
I don't know if it's his finest, but it's pretty damn good.
So
for
is that
Asian levels?
Well, now he's turning the snooping up to 11 at this point after that conversation. And I think that's when he goes out in the field and he sees like a bee flies at him and he shoos it away. And then more bees.
And then all of a sudden he's in a goddamn honeyfield.
Yeah. And then, next thing you know, he's running past a giant beehive on the ground. And there's more bees coming out chasing him. And he just keeps running, and there's more beehives. He's running deeper in. And he keeps running, and he gets stung, and he passes out at the other edge of the hive field.
Well, first he pulls out his EpiPen to try and...
Yes, he does.
He pulls out an EpiPen, but he can't do it in time, so he collapses in the field.
And he wakes up. And the redheaded mother from 6 Feet Under is there. She's the doctor on the island. And this is the first time we see electricity. There's like a light bulb over
very little
the hospital bed.
Used on this island.
Yeah, only in this one building. And they still use candlelight.
Yes, and they have lamps.
I love lamps.
There's lamps, but they're supplemented by candles.
I don't think they love lamps because there's only like fucking 3 on the whole island.
Yeah, I don't know how they power it though. If I'm sure they don't have a generator because they don't have gasoline.
There are electrical outlets though.
Yeah,
remember,
maybe
electrical outlets. We see a light switch. There was a light switch on the wall too.
maybe there's like a dam.
Or
they
maybe
found
maybe that's like the high class cabin
yeah.
where they actually have electricity.
Pure bloods.
Yeah, that's like the upper crust people on this backwoods ass island.
Yeah, but this in the doctor's house, it's still weird because there's all these jars on the table full of
Oh, yeah.
weird looking liquid. You know,
Yeah, it looked like there was like frog legs in there and shit.
yeah, it looks like either some really old timey medicine or maybe magical reagents.
Magic.
And well, again, we're not quite sure what the religion of these people is. But then you see what looks like a fetus in one of them,
Yeah, there did look like there was a fetus in one of them.
and he's like just kind of staring at it, Nick Cage style. And we
Cage
also, yeah, we also saw. I don't remember if it was before or after this, but he met up with Sister Willow, his ex, and was asking. I think it was before actually. She took him out to this field with like gravestones. Yeah, I remember because it was right after he left the teacher.
Church, right?
Yeah, because it was right after he talked to the teacher who said they don't believe in death. And Sister Willow takes him out, and you see gravestones. But then she's like, well, maybe she's out here somewhere, in a grave. But then we realize that the graveyard is behind the ruins of a church. There's not much left of it. It's just some pieces of the stone walls, little window.
Cozy. I live there.
Yeah, there's that little coffin type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like this is a stone church. It didn't just burn down or something. Like this had to have been like dismantled and torn down.
And then what happens? what happens? He gets more fucking vague bullshit.
Yeah.
He's been getting fed vague bullshit by this bitch the entire time.
Yep. Yeah. Basically, we never seen her. We never heard that name. He knows they have. Oh, she's missing. Is she alive or dead? Well, they said she's dead, but I don't know. She's just gone. The teacher said she'll burn to death, and then she burned to death. Don't know if she's in the graveyard. So we still don't know, and he doesn't know. Yeah, witchcraft. Yeah, sort of. You're sort of right.
Undertaker wasn't in this movie. That would have been funny if he was that.
Yeah. And so we don't know. We still don't know if the girl's alive or dead. Neither does Nick Cage. And so as he gets more vague clues, he just becomes more and more determined to try and find her.
And we see that he's very dedicated to his police duty, even though he's a fucking highway patrol officer. And I'm going to keep saying that. Acting like he's fucking FBI on this island.
Yeah.
He's a king cop.
I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anything before he goes to meet the mayor.
The mayor.
Yeah. Well, the mayor of the island is we described her as an Amish witch pope.
Sister Summerisle.
Yes. Yeah, Sister Summerisle. And
he has the
basically
name of the place.
Yeah, she's basically an Amish witch pope. And so she tells him the story of the island or of the community that in the 17th century, her people who were of Celtic origin, right? So maybe they were druids or
Darius, I got to mute for a second. So yeah, I'll be back.
And like Manticore said, witchcraft. Well, not exactly, but you're close. So I don't think Wicca is actually that old. So I don't know if it's necessarily like an occult religion, and they don't really tell us specifically. But yeah, basically her people were Celtic, so they came from the British Isles, and they came. They were fleeing the persecution of the patriarchy for their patriarchal ways and to practice freedom of religion. And so they fled to the New World, But then in the New World, they experienced just as much oppression, and so they kept migrating all the way to the West Coast and even off the mainland. So they settled this island, Summer Isle, and it's unclear if the island is named after the leader or the matriarch, yeah, or vice versa. And so they established this what was, I guess, a colony, like 400 years ago, and so they dedicated themselves to this society. Hold on, do I have? Let's see. Oh yeah, I still have it up. It says, my Celtic ancestors all the way back rebelled against the suppression of the feminine. That's it. So,
also, he was bugging out when he read that story.
Maybe. So in the late 17th century, they fled to the New World. And they settled near Salem. So the persecution continued, and they migrated all the way out, and vowed to never enter that other world again. So they're totally cut off here.
What's up, Games? I know your Games. How you doing, Games?
What's up, Games?
Games, because I'm not saying that fucking name.
And she said those pioneers needed a little urging to isolate. So not everyone who came there was fully willing, and but she says they were looking for a simpler way of life. Some do leave, like Willow, which was his ex. Obviously, she left because we come to realize that she grew up in this place, left to be with him, and then when they broke up, she returned here.
She says to Nicolas Cage too during one of his many interrogations of her, because he's interrogating the shit out of her throughout the whole movie too.
Oh yeah,
like we see by the fourth or fifth time that this motherfucker's eyes are popping out of his head. And he's had enough. Like you should have had enough by conversation number 2. But she says to him during one of the conversations, she's like, Sister Summer Isle was very upset about my wild ways, or something along those lines.
Which like Rumspringa
was born on the island, lived on the island, and on the mainland.
As far as we know, they don't practice any Rumspringa, but it sounds like she wanted to sow her wild oats anyway. Get a little cage in her. Get a little cagey.
You want to rattle his cage?
Yeah. She wanted him to wear the plastic fangs.
It's like, put the bear costume on.
Yeah. Yeah. And then while she pleasures him, she wants him to recite the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Quick, get the honey.
You've been buzzing around my mind all day. So.
Oh my God.
Okay, Cordy joke after Cordy joke. That was good.
And she says, so some Willow leave to test themselves or to find a man, but they always come home eventually. And
to the honey trap.
Yep. Classic honeypot. Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. So he says, men are what, second-class citizens? She's like, no, we love our men. We're just not subservient to them. The men are a very important part of our little colony. Breeding. So we have a Zardoz situation where it's a matriarchy. The men run everything.
And I still haven't seen it. I gotta see it. You know what? We're putting that on the list.
Yep. And as of this point, this is maybe like 2/3 through the way through the movie, and so all the men we've seen mostly women, but the men we have seen were doing manual labor, heavy lifting.
Yeah, we had the plane delivery guy.
Yeah, every time they were pretty much on the edges of the colony, like down on the beach carrying the bag, out in the woods carrying logs around, doing work. And we've never heard them speak.
Himself and drops all the logs all over the place like a jerk off. Yeah.
Yep. And we've never heard any of them speak. In fact, he asked one guy a question, and the guy simply didn't respond to him at all.
There were boys there too, because remember when he sees the girl who looked like Sister Rose, there's a bunch of like 12-year-old kids around her picking shit up off the ground, whatever the fuck they were doing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that.
But they were kids. They weren't adults. Like
Yep.
the delivery guys were adults. The other guys were adults. Well, what's her face's butler? She had a butler. Fucking
Yeah.
what the fuck? Sister Summerisle, yeah. She had a fucking butler who didn't say a word.
Right. And so I think that's when he goes. He's still snooping around. He goes out to. He goes into a cave, looking around, looking for clues, and he goes for a swim in the cave water, and under the water he sees this stone head of Jesus Christ, right, which probably came from the church. And so, like I said, they must have torn it down, right? So these people are not Christians. They're probably it seems like they practice some older religion, right? Like like druids or like pagans or nature worship, right?
Medieval fucking Dark Ages type shit.
Right, or even older. It's a pre-Christian religion, because they seem to revere nature, right? Like the mother goddess, and they really like bees.
They love bees. They love bees.
Scream.
Right. But after he passes the Jesus head, he finds like a garment, like a red garment. And when he comes up from the water on the other side, he's in like a hole, like a vertical tunnel. And he climbs up, and there's just this metal grate. And he's pounding on it. He's really Nick Cage pounding on it. He's like, oh, ah. And coincidentally, at that exact moment, Sister Willow shows up, right? And it's in a building, almost like a temple, but I don't think it was a temple. And she comes in the doorway, all lit up, down the stairs, and lets him out. She just happens to be there at that exact moment, and he does not question it. And he says, "I found her sweater. I found her sweater." And again, she doesn't really give him any answers or tell him anything.
Well, we've seen that's not going to happen throughout this whole movie.
Oh, well, and he had a vision of he was
he had many different dream sequences in this movie.
Yep, because he went out to the end of like a pier, and he saw one of the similar kind of grate, and you see him going for a swim and swimming underneath the dock, and just seeing the body of this blonde girl just floating there, and then he snapped out of it, and he's like, and we realized he was just daydreaming, and then he looks down on his arms,
and he's holding her dead body, and then
he snaps out of that.
A dream within a dream.
Yep, Inception. So, and so after he finds the sweater, he's really just
Goes
about
back to his ex for more questioning.
Yeah. What did she tell him that time?
I don't know. She was telling him the same
nothing.
goddamn thing the whole time. So,
Yeah,
yada yada yada. Like,
probably nothing.
It was becoming a runaround. It's like, come on, man. Like Nicolas Cage, you gotta realize something's up. Bail.
Yeah.
Steal that plane if you can.
I just remembered the other question he had asked Lily Sobieski, Sister Honey, when she was chopping the wood near the beginning. He was asking her what happens the day after tomorrow, and she was giving him some weird answers like, "Oh, tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. No, I mean the day after tomorrow, right?" And that's when we learned that there was going to be a festival, right? And then he saw the photos of the festival year after year after year, and so I think it's just about time that the festival's going to begin. And the what?
A festival. We got a festival.
Yeah, festival and a festivus for the rest of us.
What do they say? What does she say? All right, before Nicolas Cage steals some bitch's bike, what does she say to him? It's like a celebration of death.
Death and rebirth.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So people are starting to head out to some location for the festival, right? And it's the school marm. She's on her bicycle, and she's like, he's like, "Hey, where are you going?" She's like,
Rose.
"Oh,
It's Sister Rose. He encountered her before. You know,
yep,
she comes
yep.
right down with her eyes wide shut mask.
Yeah, yeah." It's this black like carnival mask with a long pointy nose and feathers. Looks just like Eyes Wide Shut. And she's like, "Oh, it's a celebration of death and rebirth," and he's like, just about had enough. So he pulls a gun on her and he's like, "Give me the bike, keep the mask."
He robs her at fucking gunpoint for her bike.
And she just sort of looks incredulous. And he doesn't want that mask, so he makes sure that she takes that. And he gets on the bike, and I think he rides from there up to Summer Isle Mansion. Is that right?
And then we get the fucking bear costume, bro.
Well,
Before we get the bear costume, we get him versus Lily Sobieski in a bar fight.
Well, he goes, yeah, he goes into this.
He has to beat Lily. So it's like a video game.
Well, first it's the
go into the bar and fight Lily Sobieski in order to earn the bear costume.
Yeah, well, because there's like the main mansion, and then there's also that. So he goes in there, and
the main mansion first. Yes.
yeah, okay, yeah, that was first. So he busts into the mansion, and he goes upstairs, and he's snooping around. Now most of the people are out because they're on their way to the festival. So he opens this one door to a bedroom, and he just sees this old man.
The sex slave.
Yeah, yeah, and with one of his eyes had like skin healed over it.
Yeah, he looks
He's
like
just-
in the last round of a Rocky movie.
Right.
He's fucked up looking, and he's
Right.
old and disheveled.
Yeah, yeah.
He had like marks all over him and shit.
Right,
He
right.
probably these things.
Yeah, yeah. And so we know, the women are not gentle here, especially to the men. However, considering he was a sex slave, we never find out for sure that the men had their tongues cut out, but you get the impression that they did because none of them speak. One or two of them make a grunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that deaf person. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. And so, this guy doesn't speak either. He doesn't even really move. He's just kind of lying there. And
no, he's just lying there looking at him.
Yeah. And then he's like, huh. He
Yeah,
heads out down.
Scooby Doo type shit where he opens the next door.
Yeah. Yep.
Something weird.
Yeah. And that's where he sees the bee fucker. There's just he sees this woman sitting in the middle of a room, like on a chair, and she's just covered from neck to toe in live bees.
Loving every second of it too, because they zoom in on.
Oh yeah, they zoom in on her face, and she's grinning from ear to ear, just covered in bees. It's not even a nude scene because it's all bees.
Yeah, all bees,
and she's loving it. The bee fucker. And yeah, well, I guess Sister Beanflick didn't show up that day, and so he goes up to the master bedroom at the head, and you see it's all yellow, and it has these little windows in the wall that are hexagon shaped, right, letting the light in. And what does he find there?
Well, it's her with her like servants, right? It's Sister Summerall with all her servants and shit.
Yeah. So it's the matriarch, the Sister Summer Isle, the Amish witch pope.
Ellen Burstyn.
Yeah, she did a great job.
Miss Peacock from Clue. Great movie, by the way.
So does he? I know he's flipping out. He's demanding answers. Does he pull a gun on her?
He pulls a gun on a lot of people.
At this point, yeah, he's run out of patience. Sounds like some out of Candyman.
Yeah, the bee thing. Yeah. You know what?
Sure.
Candyman and the Wicker Man would have been a dope crossover. Right?
Sherry's emojis. Yep. Bee eggplant. Well, the bees are the eggplant, basically. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. So, yeah, I think he pulls the gun on her. He's not waiting around anymore because the festival. He's suspecting that the little girl is not really dead, and that she's missing because she's going to be used at this year's sacrifice, based on all the photos he saw of the girls standing in circles. And so he thinks everyone is lying to him, and that the girl's going to be sacrificed. So he is out of time. He doesn't really come out and say this, but we know that that's what he's thinking. And so he's not waiting around anymore because the festival is about to happen.
Because he's a dedicated highway cop way out of his jurisdiction.
Right. Well, and it might be his daughter. He says at one point it is his daughter.
He keeps telling them to. He's like, get the FBI involved, kidnapping, murder.
Yeah.
I like when he's yelling at one of them. He's like, kidnapping and murder, and she's like, we don't murder.
Yeah.
He didn't say a goddamn thing about the kidnapping.
Right. He's like, even if they willingly participated, still murder.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't murder here. Yeah. And so yeah, I'm pretty sure he pulls the gun on her and she gives him a whole lot of nothing. And actually, I don't actually remember their conversation. I just remember the way that room looked.
Nothing.
Yeah. There were some scenes in this movie where I don't really remember the dialogue, but it looked so striking and
memorable
that it was just the whole mood and the whole vibe of it that I remember more than the actual words.
Because of the absolute intensity that Nicolas Cage brings to every performance that he's in.
That too. Those are the two best things. Just the look of it and the Cage of it. And so that's when he hops back on the stolen bike and he goes over to
him riding a bike.
Yeah. A lady's bike. I think all the bikes are ladies' bikes on this island.
They're also look like 1940s bikes.
Yeah. They don't have the big front wheel, but they do look kind of old. And he goes over to some other building. They're all wood. And inside is Sister the barmaid.
Sister Beach.
Sister Beach. And she's talking to someone. And he
slowly walks down the stairs with his Nicolas Cage intense look on his face.
Right, and you hear Sister Beach ask, like, "Did you take care of it? Did you take care of that business down at the dock?" Oh yeah. So we missed the real short scene down at the beach. He went down to the beach to check on the plane, and he found the body of an old man with his eyes and mouth sewed shut. Was it the pilot of the plane?
Yeah, that was it.
It was him?
I don't know.
Probably.
Probably.
I didn't recognize him without the flannel.
Because remember when Nicolas Cage went to the plane before, he didn't respond. Like, he wasn't on the plane. He wasn't there at all. The plane just landed, and he was trying to get to, Remember, he swims over to the plane when it's docked.
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah, he was all wet.
Yeah. So yeah, they killed
I guess
that.
we'll assume this was the pilot. And so, but I didn't recognize him without the flannel. And so, but his eyes and his mouth are sewn shut. And Nick Cage freaks out, and he rides the bike over to this building where Sister Beach says, "Hey, did you take care of that business down at the beach?" And the other woman's like, "Yep, it's all taken care of." And then here he comes. He swaggers in from the doorway at the top of the stairs, looking dirty, disheveled, and triggered.
You look at his face, this motherfucker's had enough. And Sister Beach is smugly looking at him as he walks up to her.
Yep. She's like, "You don't look so good." And what does he say, Carol?
I don't know.
He doesn't say
Why you put me in the
anything.
spot like that?
But he does something. without a word, he punches her right in the face.
Oh, better. Just pin-panned.
Yep. He just cold cocks her. Oh, wait. I have a sound effect for that. Let me see. Right in the face. Pow! Right in the kisser. And is she out? Does he like knock her right out with one punch?
I think she is. I'll just say we think she
Okay. All right. So yeah, she goes down and stays down. She appears unconscious. But then suddenly a blonde blur attacks him from behind.
And it's
Lily.
the furious Lily Sobieski.
Yep. Sister Honey is just slathered all over him now. And she's stuck to him good. And so he throws her off his shoulders into the wall, and then she just comes at him again.
He gives her like a one or I think he gives her like a 2-punch combo.
Yeah.
And then he fucking super kicks her ass into all the pictures.
Yeah, and breaks them, and then she doesn't get up.
But then we see something later on. So.
Yeah, and then at this moment, what does he do, Slasher?
Oh, bear costume time?
Oh yeah.
Is it bear costume time? Because
I think it is.
I've been waiting for this.
Slasher's favorite moment of the movie.
Makes the fucking movie for me. Is it running?
yeah, it's looping.
Okay.
Right. So
man. Then he goes on a bear costume rampage.
Yep. So everyone else is wearing these carnival masks, like Eyes Wide Shut. A couple people have like animal costumes on, right? But they're all parading their way out to, this grove. And once he puts this bear costume on and suits up, he just looks like a friggin' bear. And he runs out there to the parade.
He infiltrates the parade.
Yep, he comes out through the woods and nobody notices because he's a bear. He runs right up to Sister Willow.
Stop Willow and he lets Willow know that it's him, and she's all spooked.
What are you doing?
Oh wait, no, not the bees, not yet. We're not ready for the bees yet. But anywho, so bear costume. So he's running around punching bitches in a bear costume,
like we saw in that GIF.
And rescues Willow from the sacrifice. And then shenanigans are afoot.
Yep. So I'm trying to picture it. So everyone's gathered out there in the grove, and do we see the thing?
No.
Okay.
You mean the man? The man made out of wicker?
Yeah.
Not to spoil everything? No, because he gets carried there later. Remember, he gets carried there.
Right. Okay. So everyone's gathered around, right? And he's like, he's punching bitches and beaches and with the bear costume, right? Knocking them out. And then
bitches and beaches.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So he takes Willow and runs off with her.
And then Swerve.
Yeah. And he drops the bear costume out in the woods. I remember that, so he can run faster. And they're running through the woods. And then Carol.
I don't know.
Oh God, Carol.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, he doesn't blaze up a doob.
Very disappointed, Cal.
I'm disappointed in myself too.
I
I remember the
guess
part where we were breaking his legs and stuff.
I guess when we wrap this up, we can't even ask Carol what she thought of this movie.
I'm sorry.
I think she'll more remember the director's cut end scene more than the movie.
I remember parts of it. Don't he like run down and I remember it. I just don't. I can't. Carry on.
And let's see.
Anyway,
I want to make sure I get it right.
But we got a tremendous swerve.
We sure do.
The daughter turns on him. The ex-fiance turns on him.
Oh yeah, the daughter. The daughter is alive, by the way.
Yes.
We didn't mention that.
He finally, when he's running up in the bear costume, he sees that the daughter's about to be sacrificed.
Right. Oh yeah. Standing in the circle, just like in the photographs.
Yep.
And she was alive all along, spared for the sacrifice. Just like, oh yeah, no, it was a tree. That's right, because I made a comment about it looks just like Bohemian Grove. Yes. So
the 6-year plan has come to fruition.
Right. So So it looks like the girl is going to be sacrificed in front of a big wooden tree, very much like the cremation of care at Bohemian Grove. Papa knows what I'm talking about, and Tommy knows what I'm talking about. And so that was, he rescued her and grabbed, and ran off. So yeah, they were making it away, and then swerve. They turn on him, and she basically, the little girl runs all the way back to the crowd, back to the grotto, and he didn't seem to realize that they were like going in a circle. But he thought he was rescuing her, but she just led him right back. And the matriarch and all the crowd is gathered there, and she's like, you did a good job. And we see in the crowd, Willow is there, and Sister Beach is there.
Everybody is there.
Literally everyone from the movie is there, and we mean everyone. So Lily Sobieski's there.
Mother and daughter in the beginning in the car wreck are there.
Yeah, from the car wreck. I don't know how that happened.
The cop who gave him the letter in the beginning is there.
Yes, the other cop. She's there. Everyone takes their masks off, right? And that's when we see the cop who was blonde and had a braid, and then the mother and daughter were blonde and had braids. They take their masks off. So everyone in the movie has been in on it the whole time. And like Slasher said, it was a 6-year plan. It's an extremely elaborate plan to ensnare Nick Cage from his life out in the world and bring him here for the sacrifice.
We're gonna make your life a lot more interesting, you fucking highway patrol cop, you.
Yeah. And so he's like, so he starts going off on him.
Pulls the gun on the whole entire crowd.
Yep.
No one's really spooked by it.
He's waving the gun around. He's like, oh, yeah. And in the woods, right when he dropped the bear costume, he pulled out his cell phone and tried to call for help from his boss.
And then we finally got a phone call. He could finally get a reception there. Yeah.
Yep. And he called for help. But this is only like 2 minutes ago. And so now he's like, the police will be here. You can't do this. You can't do this to people. It's murder. And they again don't feel threatened. And so someone like people are coming up behind him too. The crowd is only growing. and he tries to shoot someone with the gun, and it just clicks, and it's completely unloaded.
Bitch done stole his bullets.
Yep. And Sister Willow holds her hand up in the air, and all of his bullets are in her hand, and she dramatically lets them fall to the ground. She sold him out. She played him like a sap.
Yeah.
Get it? Sap.
Time.
Brother Sap. Sister Honey and Brother Sap. And so,
You're stupid.
and so they take him.
All right. Well. Before we get into this, we gotta split off into two because the first version we saw
Okay.
was them carrying his body while you just heard him screaming from what they did to him in the background. You don't get to see the brutal ending that we got in the director's cut.
No, you just see the parade and the close-ups on the faces of Willow and Sister Summer Isle.
And then you hear him in the background. But you hear him. This hurts!
Oh, ouch!
Stop
My legs!
Stop torturing me, please!
Ah, my legs!
I can't believe you're torturing me.
Not the legs! Ah!
It hurts. It really, really hurts. Oh my goodness.
I don't believe in your gods! It's all for nothing!
And then they what? Then they fucking, in this version, they carry him to the giant Wicker Man.
Yeah, there in the grotto. Giant Wicker Man.
They like tie him by his ankles and pull him up there. And yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
I thought he was in like a cage, and then they lifted him up in like a. Did they just tie the rope around his legs?
He was in a Nicolas Cage? No.
I thought he was in like a wooden cage.
They tied him up by his ankles.
Oh,
and brought him up there.
God, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, and when he gets up there, he's like, he can still use his arms, so he's like crawling, trying to get out, still screaming, still caging
out. He's caging the fuck out.
And hold on, let me see. Where's the? I think I got the line here because she starts going into the ritual.
What up, DBS? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, DBS? Let's see. She's like, "See, you have come of your own free will." Oh yeah, that was the kid.
Yeah. See, if Nicolas Cage had any sense, he would have did that, Chris. But Nicolas Cage is an idiot in this movie.
Always treat a gun like it's loaded. Yeah. See, you're just the man. We orchestrated it all.
A lot of moves in
you
this
bitches,
movie.
you bitches. This is murder. You'll all be guilty.
Bringing me won't bring your goddamn honey back.
Yeah. And she's like, but I know it will. Oh God. How can it? I'm not one of you. I don't believe in sacrifice. No, don't move me. So and let's see. Oh yeah, okay.
All right, now we're going into the second ending. Okay.
Well, she's like says, "Oh gods and goddesses of nature, receive this sacrifice and be appeased." Gods and goddesses of nature, receive the sacrifice and be appeased. And that's when the little girl, who we believe is his daughter, I think so. She's the one that carries the torch up and lights it on fire, which is even darker. All right, so then we watch the alternate ending.
Here we go, baby. That's it. Get them bees in there.
So in this version, instead of just hearing it, we see them carrying him out and
hobble the fuck out of him.
Yep, they put 2 logs down between his legs, and just like Kathy Bates does to James Caan in Misery, And they get the hammer and ah.
But mind you, he's still screaming. He's also the entire time they're torturing him in the director's cut scene. He's screaming the same exact stuff
Yeah.
that, like, line for line, other than the bees.
Yep. He says,
Screaming everything else other than the bees. But he's pretty much screaming the same stuff when they're hobbling him.
yep. This is murder. You'll all be guilty. You're doing it for nothing. Killing me won't bring your goddamn honey back.
And yeah, they could pour bees too.
Yeah. And so,
Pour bees.
yep. So yeah, after they hobble him, they just put the cage on his head, and then they pour the bees in it. And there's CGI bees, and he's screaming, "No, not the bees! Ah!
Guys.
Ah! No, not the bees!" And they sting him all over his face. And then they take the cage off, and the bees. It looks like he has a beard of bees.
Yeah.
And then, so he starts to pass out from like shock. And then, Dr. Redhead shows up.
His EpiPen that was confiscated before.
Dr. Moss, that was
It's
it.
used to revive him.
Right, I was like, where'd she get a hypodermic needle on this island? And nope, yep, Slasher is right. That was his own EpiPen. And she says, "We need you alive," and shoots him up with it, and he wakes back up. And then we resume. They hoist him up.
We get the same carrying him to the Wicker Man scene, just without him screaming, "You're killing me. Ow, this hurts. Please stop doing that."
Yeah, because now he's already like almost, gone into shock, and now he's been revived with adrenaline.
But this time, when they took the blanket off him, we saw he had all the bee stings on him. Because when they did that, the other scene, he had no marks on him at all.
Yeah. So they hoist him up into the head of the Wicker Man.
But then when we watched the ending there, we didn't see how they hoisted him up into the Wicker Man from that scene.
Yes. That's the difference. So the director's cut is way better.
I gotta see how they did that, but
Tommy is Ford tough. Yep. So, yep. But yeah, they made sure to get the little girl to light the fire, and she does it with a smile and goes back to the crowd, and they all look on, smiling as he screams in pain and torment, telling him that it won't bring your honey back. It's all for nothing. Ah! and then the fire, consumes the entire Wicker Man. And he's like, ah!
like Nicolas Cage does, screaming.
Cage! Yeah.
Cage
and,
in the
is a moment of brutal humanity. And we remembered why we don't put women in charge.
Fuck you. Yeah, Carol. Yeah, Carol.
Yeah, Carol.
See, now I know Tommy's noticed, but before 2015, when they portrayed a matriarchy or a matriarchal society in a film, it was always creepy and weird, and crazy, horrible things would happen, right?
You're gonna make me bring up Zardoz again.
Yeah, just like
Zardoz. I gotta put that on the list, and then I will count that as your pick. Because
I think Zardoz is considered a bad movie.
I'm just saying I wanted both of you two to pick some movies too, but no.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll pick Zardoz. I think it's bad enough, or it's considered a bad movie by enough people that it counts, but I still like it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I
Iconic.
enjoy some of these movies that I'm doing this.
Yeah, it's an iconic movie anyway. But yeah, no, I recommend it. And so he burns away, and they believe that the honey will return next year. But we never see next year. So
No, we see the honeys return 6 months later, or whatever it says.
Well, the honeys, yeah. We don't know if the actual harvest is better next year. So we don't know if it worked or not. We never find out. But we do jump 6 months, and
then we got a James Franco alert.
Yeah, I think it's San Francisco, isn't it? Because Franco says he's from Napa Valley.
I don't remember where it said. I don't even remember how it said something months later. I thought it said
6 months later. Yep, and it's in the city, but San Francisco is in like Northern California, so I think that's close enough to Washington. And no, Nick Cage is did not survive.
We get yeah. Well, there's yes, that's exit Nicolas Cage because we do not see him anymore.
R.I.P.
Yes.
And so it's this.
Con Dios, Nicolas Cage. We love you and everything you're in.
Yeah. So we're at this bar in the city, and we see this hip young man, played by James Franco, is he's wearing like a button-down shirt with his
Looking
fluffy hair.
all Franco-y.
Yeah, look at his probably pomaded hair, and yeah, he does like a 3/4 turn away from the camera, and then we see his face, and then John Ritter's son joins him.
Yeah, he gets
his
joined by
BFF.
John Ritter's son at the bar, and they seem to be on the prowl for some ladies.
Oh yeah, they're bros.
We see from far away to the other side of the bar. We see there's a fine young ladies walking through, and it catches their eye, and they walk up, and they're very bold. They're like, "Oh, we thought this was a place for lawyers." And then who the fuck do we see? Do we see some treacherous hoes? Are there some treacherous hoes about?
Oh yeah.
I believe there might be some treacherous hoes about.
And you make them sound like Jersey Shore guys. But yeah, they're like, "Hey, bro, what's up? You see those honeys over there?" Pop their collar. Like, "What's up, ladies? Notice you don't have any companionship tonight. Do you know what time it is?" Checks her watch. "It's t-shirt time." Okay, that doesn't actually happen, but they do approach these two.
It might as well have been to that point. Because
yeah, they see these two like attractive young women, one younger than the other, and
who are definitely fucking DTF.
Oh yeah, they're clearly they're clearly they don't have time for Tinder. I'll put it that way.
They're dolled up a little bit, but they might look a little bit familiar. They're dolled up quite a bit compared to what we saw earlier.
Yeah, I recognize those poofy DSL lips, and with the brown hair, and then next to her, the that angular nose and the straight blonde hair of
treacherous hose.
Yeah, so it's Sister Willow and Sister Honey. And they're like, "What's up, ladies? We thought this was a bar for lawyers." And there's they don't think it's odd that no guys are already talking to these two attractive women.
We're on the lookout for some treacherous hoes.
Yeah.
Do you guys fit the bill?
And they're like, "Hey, what do you do?"
Maybe if everyone was so honest in the beginning, maybe there wouldn't be these misunderstandings.
Yeah, well, immediately Willow takes John Ritter Jr. and she takes him over outside or to the bar or something to talk to him to get to know him.
Let's go get some pictures.
Yeah, dude, in less than 60 seconds, she takes him off somewhere else, leaving Franco alone with Honey. Yeah. And she says, "Oh, what do you do?" And he says, well, actually, I'm a cop. I'm from Napa Valley, but I'm a cop."
Ding, 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 ding.
And we're pretty sure that we saw the lady cop.
The ringer going off in her head too.
Yeah, and she's like, and I don't know. And yeah, Slasher noticed this, that the lady cop is on the other side of the room dancing with someone, right? And she seems to like that he's a cop.
I'm saying though, it's
a honeypot.
How did they get the intel? That woman's got to be giving them the intel the whole time, right? The woman that gave the letter in the beginning. Okay.
right? And so you made a pun, and you're like, yeah, it's a honey pot, right? It's all a honey trap. And I thought about it, and I'm like, no, you're right. Her name is literally Honey, right? And they're drawing these guys in, right, to trap them. But if you zoom out, the entire movie was a big honey trap. The whole thing was a honey trap.
Their entire island, their existence is to fucking.
It's literally a honey trap.
These people's entire existence is to do that.
It's a honey fractal, right?
And
on
you
every
one day
level.
might end up the sex slave with one eye.
Oh man, no, John Ritter's son was gonna end up the sex slave. Franco's definitely getting burned.
Well, all right. Which one would be allergic to bees? You got to kill the one that's allergic to bees, right?
Oh well, I guess Franco would be allergic to bees. Well, I don't know because he's talking to Sister Honey. So basically, this movie was the most elaborate honey trap ever. It's like the Ocean's 11 of honey traps.
So, is this a good bad movie? Bad movie?
I honestly,
did you like this in general? Like,
I never really wanted to see it before.
you said you never watched this, or you never wanted to watch it, right?
Yeah, I never had any desire, but I tell you what, it was a lot better than I thought. I would say it's a good bad movie, and the two best things about it were Nick Cage and his acting, and just the look of the film, the cinematography, the set design, and the costumes.
It looked great. I would say it looked fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the pacing was a little, like, forgettable. Like I said, the order of events, some of the order of events I couldn't remember. It was a little forgettable. Some of the scenes probably could have been cut, and some of the logic doesn't entirely check out. Like, it doesn't seem like stuff that real people would actually do.
I think he was made to look like an idiot a lot of this movie.
Yeah, like, he just lets stuff go. If he's a cop, then, like, he wouldn't be letting all these threads go, and not following up, right? He would have interrogated somebody, right? He would have, like, one of these people, one of these women, he would have, like, he would have found a way to corner them.
To just blindly go to the island, nobody with you, though.
Let me tell you, if this movie was made by FX and premiered on FX, like, there would have been a torture scene where he had, he took one of them, let's say Sister Beach, and she just, like, wakes up, like,
he does like he does like a Reservoir Dog style, like,
yeah, like that. Or, yeah, she'll wake up in a dark room with the curtains drawn, with a bag over her head, and then Nick Cage would be pulling the bag off, being like, "Where's that little girl? I ain't telling you nothing." And then he'd either waterboard her, or he'd give her the thumb screws, or he'd pull out a little radio with a tape player, and he'd put on, "Well, I don't know why I came here tonight."
They would do like a fucking casino, put the head in the fucking vice grips.
Oh yeah, yeah, he would have done something. I mean, it's Nick Cage, but yeah. So now I didn't realize that's what I was missing from the movie. That is one thing, is I would have liked to see him interrogate somebody, because he was way too, like, pliable. He let them push him around a little too much until he put on that bear suit.
The bear suit conquers all, bro.
Yeah.
That bear suit is what made the movie for me. I'm like, this movie's now legendary in my mind. Once I saw him punching bitches wearing a bear costume.
Yeah. It was almost like a primal metaphor, because I could see,
like, it's really happening. I was like, it's really happening in a movie I'm watching. Yes.
I could see Jens saying that this movie is like the warning of the dangers of a soy society.
Oh, definitely. He would. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Shout out to Jens for this movie. And let's see, what's Tommy saying?
Carol, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
For what you could remember.
I like the torture.
Oh, I called it. She was gonna remember that scene more than the movie.
But I think I liked it better without seeing it, just hearing him scream as they're walking up.
I don't know. I thought that,
my legs!
I don't know.
It's a little more. I mean, like I did like the visuals of the other version, but I think the other one is a little creepier.
Oh God! Oh
Yeah.
God, my legs!
Stop hitting my legs with this sledgehammer, please.
You're breaking my legs! You're killing me!
It hurt so bad.
Yeah.
I
All
remember,
for nothing!
like during those parts, he might have well just been screaming, "Ouch!" That
Ouch.
hurt.
No,
I know.
stop. Don't.
Jeez.
Okay. Do you remember Mortal Kombat 4, where anywhere you hit someone, they're like, "Oh, my leg."
Was Mortal Kombat 4 the first, like the
3D?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
the one where you first have weapons, right?
No, I think that was 5.
Okay.
We'd be like, "Oh, my leg." You hit him in the arm. "Oh, my leg."
I remember one of the shit. Was it a fucking? I can't remember if it was a N64 or a PS1. Probably for both systems. But there was ones where there's a sledgehammer in the middle of the floor that you could just pick up in the middle of the fighting. I don't know. I'm more familiar with just Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. And Ultimate. What if any moral did you get from this movie?
Nothing.
Nothing? Carol?
I guess you know what? You know what? I don't know if it'd be moral. I guess it'd be don't trust bitches.
That was gonna be my moral.
Don't trust bitches. Screw you guys.
Are you well, are you saying that that's the moral you got too, Carol?
These bitches ain't loyal. That's my lesson from this.
These hoes ain't loyal. No, they ain't. Papa Cotton, are these hoes loyal?
Don't stick your dick in crazy.
Yeah, that's another good moral from this movie. And don't
kind
put
of a-
women in
yeah.
charge.
See, this is like this.
What?
This movie could totally be a MGTOW theme movie. I could see a bunch of MGTOW people fucking watching this movie every fucking day of their lives. See what happens. See what happens.
See what happens. Yeah. I didn't think of that when I was watching it, but on
I didn't
retrospect, yeah.
either. Neither.
And look at like all the men, like the men you could interpret that as like the men have been soyified, right? Because
Yeah.
they've had
Yeah, because they'll do anything for a hoe, right?
well, and all they do in the movie is heavy lifting and they never speak, right?
Yep.
They just pick things up, put them down and they shut up.
Yep.
And they have no power.
That's how you should be.
Yeah. So they've been totally emasculated, right? Even the sex slave guy in the bed, he was clearly on the bottom every
Movie
time.
going a little bit more to the modern age than I thought it would. Didn't
Hey, that's why they make movies like this and remake movies like this, because they stay relevant.
See, now I gotta sit through the whole thing of the first one to see if it was anywhere similar to the same type of storyline.
Well, 73 is when the first Wicker Man movie was made, based on the novel. I don't remember when the novel was written, but 73, that was like in the heat of women's lib time. So I can see them making the movie at that time with their sideburns and their fat ties, being in their big square glasses, being like, hey, this is what happens if you take women's lib to the extreme.
I don't remember if there was any Kathy Bates looking women in the first one from what I saw of it. I remember there was a nude scene though. There was a woman that was actually pretty. She was 1973 hot, and she did get naked. I do remember that.
Oh yeah, that's another good point though. No women got objectified in this movie.
No.
The men
But
did,
you
though.
guys.
Yeah, no, yeah, all the men got objectified. I guess even Nick Cage, because he became the Wicker Man.
Even James Franco and John Ritter's son at the end too.
Yeah,
We saw they were
Yep.
possibly setting up for a Wicker Man 2 and 3.
right, and that's why there's so few men. Because you think there should be as many men as women. Maybe you just didn't see them, but no, I think because they keep sacrificing men that that maybe that's why they, there's only like maybe 1/3 of the island is men. Unless they got mines. Maybe they got men working the mines. Maybe that's where the electricity comes from. Oh my God. They got men running on treadmills. And
yeah, there's probably a lot more to that island than we actually got to see.
Oh, wow.
It's probably very elaborate. There's
right.
probably
And
a lot of...
if there's a lake in the movie, the men are rowing the boat to get the queens across.
Yeah, we also got to take in the fact that like how they bring men there, right? Like, because eventually the men they have there that are going to be their sex slaves are going to die. We saw that the one-eye sex slave. We saw that dude is old. That dude was old. He was gray. He was like fucking Methuselah. That dude.
Oh yeah, he was too old for sacrifice.
Yeah, he ain't gonna live much longer. So they're gonna need a new sex slave, right?
Why wasn't the bee fucker at the parade?
You know what? Maybe they wouldn't sacrifice James Franco because they probably want handsome kids, right? They'd want
well,
kids.
they got Nick Cage's kid.
As a good-looking guy, right?
Yeah, well, they got Nick Cage's kid, right?
But she does say they occasionally hang on. Like she said, it depends on whether they want to keep the boys on the island or not.
Right.
When they have boys.
Oh, okay. So that I forgot about that. So maybe they send the boys back to society and keep the girls, and that's why there's more women.
I mean,
every student.
I can't say I'm a lawmaker on this island, so I don't really know this. I don't know the ins and outs, but
because remember, every student in the schoolhouse was a girl.
Yeah, every girl. Yes, everyone.
So they're the only ones that get educated.
The only men there were workers. That's
right.
That was it.
Yeah.
Oh, except that one time where he ran to the pub, and there were all the men sitting there during Rumspringer, whatever the fuck it was, during the Wicker Man festival.
Right.
Remember, he runs into there, and all the men are in the pub at that point.
Right. Were they even drinking? I mean, they weren't talking. They were just kind of sitting there silently.
When the guy made the mute noise.
He's like, huh? Talk to me. Yeah, dude. So not only are the men that they actually decide to keep not educated, but they literally silence them, so they have no voice.
This movie goes deep now, man.
Yeah, and when you go back and think about it. Okay, the bear. All right, at like a primal, archetypal level, what was the bear?
It was a symbol of fury.
Yeah.
Rage coming out.
Yeah, and masculinity fulfilled.
And protecting your loved ones.
Yes, protecting your blood.
See? Holy shit. Nicolas Cage, you are a cinematic masterpiece, Nicolas Cage.
Wow. Don't
ever leave us. Because I have a Nicolas Cage movie in the future.
Tommy says today's standards, Logan's Run would be considered X-rated.
That's another one I gotta see.
I wonder if Tommy would see this movie and read it as like with an anti-communist message, right? Because they sacrifice the individual to serve the collective. I mean, they do.
Well, I just wonder how British the original is.
That's a good question. I think, yeah, it was.
Not a slander or anything towards British people. I'm just saying.
No, they just have a different style. Like some stuff works in Britain that just doesn't work over here, like British comedy and Doctor Who. Right? We can watch it and enjoy it, but we could never make it. I think everyone will agree that Americans can't do British comedy, and we could never do Doctor Who. But we do the stuff that we do. Let's see. I think it was based on a novel, 1967 novel called Ritual. and he's okay. The novel is British. The police sergeant is isolated on the Scottish island of Summerisle. So I guess Scotland is the Washington state of the UK.
Yeah, I guess they needed one of those like corner island type.
Yeah. And well, and Scotland has a bunch of little islands off the north coast, like the Orkneys. Oh, okay. So it looks like the in the 73 version, there's more of the religious theme in it because he's appalled to find the inhabitants have abandoned Christianity.
What is what's the theme of the island though? Is it man hating or is it some other sort of shit?
I don't know. I'd have to read it or watch the movie, but it looks
You know
like that version was more popular than this one.
You know what? Fuck it. We'll do it down the line, bro. We'll make
Sure.
return to the Wicker Man, and we'll watch that original one.
Yeah, for sure. It so I think 73. It's more. There's more of like of the theme is more about like the religion. They okay. They practice a form of Celtic paganism.
And instead of matriarchy thing, it's religious. It's just full on religious.
Maybe. But I mean that's just like the first opening blurb on the Wikipedia page that I'm reading. But
all I remember was a naked woman dancing around. That's all I remember.
Well, it actually explains more of Sister Summerisle's speech about the history, right? Because she said that her people were Celtic, right?
It explains more of me because all I take away from was I remember it was a 73 movie where there's a woman dancing around naked.
Yeah, well, just like in at the beginning of the Crucible, right, where you see all the women dancing naked in the forest around the fire, and then they kill the chicken and sprays blood around. It's supposed to be an old like pagan ritual. So in this case, it would be the old Celtic pagans like the Druids, and and they like snakes. So I wonder if the 73 version has more snakes in it because snakes are really important.
Oh, Christopher was in the 73 one? Okay.
Oh,
right.
Nice. Thanks, Sherry. I didn't know that.
I'll get around to watching that entire movie.
Well, and if you think about it, snakes are both very important to the Druids, and also they're a phallic symbol. So
bullshit.
I'm gonna bet now there's a lot more snakes in the 73 version, and in racial porn in 1996. Well, maybe there was. There's some old photos, and so when Cage gets to the island in this version, I can't think of like the first thing that he's shocked or horrified by. He just kind of asks questions.
The thing in the bag.
The thing in the bag, right? And so in the 73 version, according to this, he's shocked and horrified to see that they have abandoned Christianity and adopted this Celtic pagan religion. So the bag is our replacement for just sort of the religious horror of, oh my God, they've left God. Right. And we do see it in this one, though, because the church has been completely torn down, and even the statue of Jesus has been decapitated and the head discarded in the cave. So it's still there a little bit.
I mean, I'm not. I was brought up religious. I was brought up Catholic, but I'm not Catholic anymore. And I wouldn't say that I'd want to be brought up in a human sacrifice type religion.
Oh, no.
Or whatever off the coast of fucking wherever, Washington State, whatever the fuck island now, Summerisle.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I mean, I'm just thinking about it as far as the interpretation, right? The same movie. Well, I guess they're both the same adaptation of the book, made it at two different times, and like how are they done differently. That's what's interesting to me as far as like Lee played Lord Summer Isle. Whoa, Lord Summer Isle.
In a matriarchy, I guess.
We didn't have a Lord Summer Isle in this one. Okay, so
We got gender swaps for this, I guess.
okay, so yeah, then the matriarchal society in this one is okay. That is more of the theme than just the pagan religion. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, after we watch it, we could really compare. We could really get in there.
Well, I don't know. Should I do that one next week? Or should I
Hey,
do
it's up to you. We can really get in there like a swarm of bees, if you know what I mean.
sting the fuck out of that shit?
Ladies.
Anyway.
Let be
I'm
hello.
almost at 2 hours.
Yeah, I didn't think we would go that long.
Wrap this motherfucker up right now.
Count Dooku. Yeah, sure.
See you later, everybody. Sherry, Manticore,
Bye.
Darius, you're there. You're here. You're here in the chat and here on panel. Thank you. Moira, Vigilante, thank you for coming through. Papa Cotton. Manticore, I said Manticore. I believe I said Manticore.
You did.
Tommy, thank you. Games. I'm not calling you by that name. I'm just gonna call you Games right now because those I can't say those names right now. At this moment. Krish. Death by Saber. Ooh, lovely Cherry. Oh, again. Yes. I don't know. Next week. See, I have a lot of movies on the list, but all right, maybe I'll run these by you and you two, and let me know which one I'll pick. Let me know which one I'll pick. You guys mind that?
No, I don't mind that.
I already have thumbnails done up, so I'll just throw it out there. But later, folks.
Have a great night.
Bye, everybody.
Oh wait, sorry. Wait. No.
Oh wait,
Sorry.
wait.
Sorry.
No.
I have to.
Oh.
Yeah,
hey.
I can't believe I almost did.
Hey, subscribe to my channel. I think everyone here already is. Yeah,
Yeah,
I just,
I'm sorry.
yeah. I just gotta get my new power supply, install it, and that way I don't get booted from live streams, and then I'll be back up and running. I hope to see y'all there.
And
I'll be here next week.
thank you for coming through.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi.
All right. And that's it.
Click the links I put in the chat. There you go.
Wait, now?
No, not right now. Just
okay.
bye. That's my plugging the channels.
Okay. All right. Next week, I'll be back with something later.